Welcome back to Constructive Talks. Me, my dad, and my brother Jed, we having more backyard talk, and we're talking about opportunities in the 40s, 60s, 2000s, and beyond. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation.
Should get you where you need to be.
So what we'll do,
Pick
we'll
you
make
up.
sure that we kind of talk up like this a little bit, because I can always control the volume.
Just talk over a little bit.
Yes, sir. So, hey, welcome to Constructive Talks live edition. We're in Greenville, South Carolina right now, over my dad's house, Mr. Wright. Over my big brother house, Mr. Norman.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you know me, Mr. Wright. So, one of the topics that we talked about today, and we discussed many. One of them was, the opportunity or lack thereof opportunity for the youth based on, growing up in the 70s and 80s, growing up in the 50s and 60s, and growing up now in the, I would say 2010s, 2020s. The opportunities we have now versus the opportunities we had back then. So Dan, of course, we'll start with you. Um, Most of the fans already know that you came up back in when it was sharecropping.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe a couple generations, if that, a generation and a half off of slavery. And you had to work at a young age, being 2, 3, 4, cotton field, going out with the family, sharecropping for the man.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what opportunities for creating a better life for yourself were available to you from when you could think about first for you to change the life that you were used to? Like, you know how we want to change. We don't want to grow up like our moms and dads. We want to do a little better, right?
Right.
So, what opportunities came to you as a kid? We'll say until you was about 15 or 16, came to you where it was available to do something different than what you were used to growing up being or doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Uh. Well, I tell you this. I thought about it like this. Like when I was doing my little work and stuff. Working and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be like that when I got a grown man. When I grew up to be a grown man, you working all day long for nothing, really. And I was thinking about nowadays, like the kids going to school, and I mean out here now, and got all kind of opportunities, man. You know, but they run around with pistols and things in their pocket. You know what I mean? Hey, a good life, if you can live with the education, man, go to school and get your education and stuff, and better your life. I wanted to do that, man. At one time in my life, I couldn't read, and it would kill me, man, for somebody to ask me something, and that word or whatever, and I didn't know. I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That killed me, man. I need to learn how to read. That was my thing. I didn't want to stay in the cotton field all my life, but I didn't know that thing would be like that now. The way they are now. But making a long conversation short, I just encourage kids, younger people. I'm gonna put it that way. Younger people, man, hey, get that education. Make sure you get that college degree and stuff, man. Cause without it, and back in our time, James Brown said, without the education, you might as well be dead, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it, man.
So I understand that part, right?
Yes, sir.
But so you have to think about this though. What showed up? Maybe it's a thing where you couldn't identify what was a route out just because, right? Because we need to know something to identify something, right?
Right.
That makes sense. So,
Right.
say as you were growing up between 0 and 15, when something came available for you to be able to change your situation for the better than what you were living in, did you see any of those opportunities? Because I think one of the things that everybody has to understand is that you stopped going to school by third grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge in itself to be able to identify something that could lead you in a different path because you didn't have the education.
Right.
Like I'm in ninth
But
grade now, right?
right.
10th grade, 11th.
Yeah, but okay, but what I'm saying is, check this out. If you don't have the education to know, you don't know.
Correct.
You know, I mean, you know, like some people say, I think he or she can do better than that, but if I'm telling you, if you don't have an education, you can't. You know, I mean, you got common sense that God gave you. You know, you don't want to be like this the rest of your life. You know, I grew up like in the country, man, and it was just me, you know, in the household with a bunch of females, you know, and that was rough, but you could always get by them, you know. I said that when I grew up and stuff, I wanted the education, man. I wanted to get my GED. I wanted to, you know, when I walk up in the crowd of people, maybe one of my sons or some one of you guys might say, Dad, so and so, and I know about it. I can say something, I can speak on it, but if I didn't go to school to learn it, well, I would know. And like say, take a computer, you know, I don't know nothing about that. They didn't.
You know, but you're pretty good with iPhones.
They didn't have none of that stuff when I was going to school. You with that typewriter, you know, thing, the thing the teacher used. You know, I ain't know nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I just have to continue saying praise God. You know what I'm saying? Like we out here now. I'm with my son. I'm fine. You know,
That's right.
I'm with my son with $3 in my pocket. And I'm fine.
3?
Yeah.
So, can I get you it?
Yes, sir. You can get him right. I got him right here. They down in there. I got him right here. There they go right there.
All right. That ball and shot.
That one with you, one with Jed, and one with me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Businesses have been, dynasties have been created off a couple bucks or one.
Yeah.
Or zero.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It just right now I appreciate life, man. Period. Period, point blank. You know.
Okay. So Jed, now this is everybody's first time meeting Jed, right? This is everybody's first time meeting Jed.
My other big son.
You know, we grew up together, all of us, and you know, I say that because we was on different sides of town for our family dynamics. And he went to the city school for high school. I went to the country little school, in the, country bumpkin. So Jay, let's talk about the opportunity that you probably saw to be able to change your dynamics, as in, and he's very successful now. He's doing good stuff. Hey, and success to me is being able to make your own decisions and live by them and go through it. So very successful. Some opportunities that you saw that was presented to you, either by the schools or by people around you, to be able to kind of change your dynamics in what you're currently living in at that point in time.
Well, just like Dad was saying, man, the biggest thing I thought was a big turnaround or change for me was learn how to do the computer stuff. Because electronic was growing like haywire, you know?
Wildfire, yeah.
So if you went in electronics, man, you was out of the door, man. If you couldn't know the computer system or whatever, you was out. And it was difficult when you didn't have the money or whatever you need to buy the stuff or go to school to learn it. Graduating was a plus, but going off to college was another level. If you didn't have the grades to get that college level, man, then you was fighting uphill battle.
So that being said, and that's one of those things that we do have to live with in reference to some families can afford it. We see that today. Some families can afford to send their kids to Harvard. Some kids got to learn with a flashlight under the pillow, under the sheet. And it's kind of ironic that when we were growing up, it was kind of the time of the crack epidemic as well. So it was pretty much a lockdown on people of color, or given the stigma of most black people are doing these type things, or you can't trust them. So I think Jed is 100% correct from what he's talking about, that having that opportunity where your family dynamic or access to computers or the training, and it was obvious that it was blowing up. It was like in our face. So let me ask you this, Jed. So That being said, um, the computer boom, we'll just call it boom, as technology transitioned to being explosive and kind of the business model for the U.S. as we see now. Information technology is everything. What other things came available, be it sports, be it um, just access to getting that SAT done? Did you have the opportunity? Did your school kind of push that on you doing the SAT?
It did, man. Going to Greenville High was like I mean, it was challenging because there was so much going on at the school versus just education. And what I mean by that is it just based on what everybody else was doing. Want to be a part of it, you know? And you find yourself still getting your education, you find yourself in the mix of other things that you shouldn't be doing anyway.
Okay.
But if you look up again, man, you're trying to get the grades, trying to hit that score well, you ain't got to worry about it. But then again, man, you get caught doing other stuff because why? Your neighborhood friend doing it.
Correct.
You know what I
Association,
mean?
guilty by association.
Yeah, and next thing you know, man, it's time to graduate, and your graduation grades look like 0. You barely made it through the language art. You know what I mean? And it becomes difficult, man, because you get caught up in that same little atmosphere. And then when everybody gone to school or they got a better job and don't move on, you sitting looking like, wow, what happened? What did I do wrong? You just get stuck on that method, man.
And I think part of that, though, part of that has to be where maybe when we was growing up, it was only one path, right? And they say, okay, what is your path? Get your education, go to college, graduate college, and hopefully the best things that happen.
Right.
But as we see nowadays, it's optional to go to school and you can still be successful. It's definitely optional to go to a university to sit in class. That's a dying thing right now. You can do everything online. And I think society is kind of turning away from that 4-year institutional graduation or 3 to being just certified. If you're certified on doing something, had the experience, that carries a lot of weight nowadays too. So I'm going to say this right here. So to the high school you went to and the high school that I went to was totally different. And they didn't even talk to me about SAT. I didn't even know what SAT was. I went in the military.
Wow.
No clue. So that being said, and if we say whenever I even went to college, I went to like college courses in the military, but I didn't even go to college until 2009. That's crazy, right? And I think I graduated. I got my bachelor's degree in business in 2012. So that was my first.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
wow, man.
That's crazy, right?
Hey, but check it out though. I heard you say
SAT.
Okay. You didn't know what it was till you got to
the Army. I wasn't even tracking it.
How about I didn't know anything about college until I got grown.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, live out the country, man. Out of them cotton fields. I didn't know about no college,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, and what I see around me this day and time, hey, education, man, and black people standing tall, man, you know what I'm saying, and know things and stuff, Hey, that's a thrill to me. That's something I still wouldn't mind doing,
It ain't never too late.
That's correct.
It ain't never too late, man. They got courses now where it take up 6 weeks of your time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
At night.
And you certified.
What we're going to take, it take up 6 weeks. But let me tell you something, man. The biggest thing I noticed coming through, the stuff that I did with my guys in school, high school, it was that click thing. Fellas from the hood, you hang out, do certain things. But some of them guys, man, they were actually getting their education.
Yeah,
they were
I believe that.
Yeah, because
they was hood in it.
They were hood out, but when it came home or whatever, they started getting them grades because the parent was on them. If it was just one parent, the parent was still on them. But when it came down to, man, when I got ready to graduate, man, when I was like, I had a partial scholarship, man, for track and field. And I know most of my guys most of my guys was going off to school.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. It's like I was left out there alone.
You're like, oh man,
Everybody
where's he
gone.
going?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Where's
left
Jonathan
alone.
at? Oh, he
Mhm.
gone.
You know,
He left.
So I was like, man, okay, how I'm gonna get back in to be with the guys?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to really go in this SAT, man. I got to really score high.
Yep.
At least go my little partial scholarship I got, you know. And then after that, man,
so
you
let
in
me hold
there.
that. So you got a partial scholarship, and then they say, hey, we need you to do the SAT so you can get in the college entry, right?
You got to have it, man. You got to have that 700.
Yes. Oh, that's what it was.
You got to have
Hey,
700 then.
so me and Dad like 700. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what's that?
Yeah. I got a job at AutoZone one time, man. And it hurt me so bad I didn't know what to do. Computer, man. They were telling me, they stand up there punching this in, you do this hand, you do that. And I said, excuse me? I said, they didn't have that when we were going to school, so I don't know. I said, I'm probably going to have to hassle you, you know, to find out what I got to do and
So
stuff.
you need the whole basics.
Yeah,
Build it up.
yeah, right. So I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to go in there and, you know, do that, man. So I didn't take the job. You know, people were disappointed with him.
Here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable, man.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt me. It hurt the hell out of me, man. You know.
You know, Dad, I'm gonna say this right here. The learning curve kills a lot of ambition in people.
True that.
Right?
True that.
It's like, man, I don't know that, but man, from the horror stories of what I've heard, it takes a lot to be able to learn these things.
Yeah.
And I don't have the aptitude to do it, I don't think. So it keeps people from even putting that pinky toe in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, man, I tell you, it's one of the things where YouTube is amazing. YouTube, man, oh my gosh. Google and these new search engines, as we transition to how kids nowadays get the option to do certain things that we were required to do just to be in the business world or to be success, where you can go self-educate and you're going to be, if you put some time in it, you know just as much as the person that went to school for 8 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Dad, now, I'm gonna bring you to this. Okay, so since 3rd grade, no college, no SAT,
right?
You know, hard knock. You know, you making it. You good right now, living an amazing life. What has the internet taught you in self-education?
A lot, man. I mean, you know, stuff. I learned stuff, you know, that I didn't know.
Like what? Give me one thing.
Hey, like, I'm gonna say.
Now, don't say I learned how to beat me in fishing, cause.
Oh, that's automatic. We'll get to that later. That's automatic. I got you. But hey, man, it taught me I can text. I can
look up.
I can look up stuff on. I can go to Amazon and stuff, and you know. Like you send me something, I can go to it and stuff, you know, and sometimes I make myself be like, wow, I went to it, you know. So I feel that if I had 2 or 3 months of it, I believe I could be real cool with it, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, cause I'm easy to learn it, but just like I said, at first going up here and getting on your internet or whatever. Say like if you doing something on your laptop, whatever, your phone and stuff, I have to ask you a question, you know, like before I can get there and stuff, you know. But see, I got to say this: God give you common sense, and if you tell me a little something, I catch on pretty easy, man, and get on. But I feel that everybody need to know that, man. Everybody need to know. You don't need to. Say for instance, maybe I'm gonna use cotton field for it, okay? You don't need to crawl on your knees all your life and you know and put stuff in a bag and then you don't get no credit for it. When you get old and you got to go get some Social Security, they say, where have you worked? In the field, in the cotton field, picking cotton. Oh well, we ain't got nothing to put out. You won't get but so and so, so and so. I can't live off of this. I can't live over $400 a month, man. Pay my rent and stuff like this. So now you still between a rock and a hard place. So I'm saying that if you knew better, if you knew how, you did what I'm saying, you could do something. I look at people like been to college and stuff, and they like downtown in them big old buildings and things like this. White people just got 15 houses right here and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've always say that if I had got a chance to go to school, I could do that too.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Now they went to school and learned. We didn't. You know, they was in school when we was out there doing their chores and things.
Or their parents went and just showed them how to do it.
Right.
Under their own roof, right?
Exactly.
Out there, they don't even need to go to college.
Yeah.
If a business family already business, they just teach their kids.
That's right.
Grow up how to do it, right?
That's right. That's right.
So let me ask Jed this question. Dad said something that was, man, it was profound actually, Dad. So, Jed, what do you think about this system in reference to what Dad said? Hey, if you came out the cotton field back in the 50s or 40s or 30s, 60s, or even 70s, right?
Yeah.
You know, sharecropping type stuff.
People doing it now.
And then you look at when you get in your 60s and 70s and you want Social Security benefits, and they say, hey, you know, sharecropping don't count towards it. Sharecropping and doing these things, if you didn't have a Social Security number making a living, it don't count towards anything that you've done. What do you think about that?
Man, let me tell you this. Now, I heard what Dad say about working the cotton fields, you know, all day, sun up, sun down. But, man, I look at today's society, man, where those jobs are still is elevated, man. Because you got people like, just say from like working on the back of a garbage truck, you know, sun up, sun down, and barely getting minimum wages.
Correct.
Okay, then look at that person coming out the cotton field, only got nothing, but the one on the back of the truck barely got something.
Correct.
And then you look up again, when he go to apply for his Social Security, guess what? He gonna get what? Maybe $2 more?
Yeah.
What are you gonna get a person from the cotton field? Because why? Oh, well, you didn't do nothing in the cotton field to get this because you didn't pay no state taxes. But the guy that paid state taxes, man, has been held back to a certain degree of pay. So that way, when he do retire for what? Social Security or whatever, 65 or older, he ain't getting much of that neither, man. And I think with today's society, man, it's a dumping thing, man, where people don't want that kind of education no more.
That's right.
A lot of people try and say, okay, well, you know what? I can go, I can learn, I can have this, have that, but guess what? I ain't going.
Optional. So they make it optional.
The option is getting bigger versus just one or two options you got here. A whole lot of people doing that, man. Then you look up again, you got your elders that's still here, man. It's struggling. And they work 25, 30 years inside of a plant, you know, or inside of somebody's house, you know, getting a check. And it's different, man. And they still getting grabbed for nothing.
Okay.
You know?
So I think, you know, so one of the unique things that you want to go grab that real quick. So appreciate it, sir. I think one of the unique things about this topic.
We're going to say
yes, sir. No, you good. We're going to hold a spot for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, everyone. That concludes part 1. I'm going to upload part 2 in a moment, but just please enjoy part 1 and comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.